This assignment that you're going to be working on today and over the next several days is the Snapchat filter assignment. You're actually going to be designing a Snapchat filter or a set of three Snapchat filters for various events or locations of your choosing. So you're going to want to look at this document here where it's going to explain in detail the assignment along with how you would go about even submitting a Snapchat filter. Maybe you design something that you're like, this is really cool. I would love to use it for XYZ event. It's going to talk about what you need to make sure the settings are in order for the Snapchat filter to function on the application, okay? So you're going to create three different geo filters. So if you either are unfamiliar with Snapchat or like geo filter what, let me explain for just a second. So a geo filter for Snapchat is set to a specific location on the map. So for example, the Garden City High School Snapchat filters that you guys can find on Snapchat right now, those only work when you are in the range of Garden City High School. Okay, when you're in the range of Garden City in general, there are Snapchat filters for the city. If you go to a bigger city with maybe a special monument or landmark, there's probably a Snapchat filter associated with it as well. So the biggest thing is it's for a specific area. Maybe you've been to a wedding or an event where the couple or the people chose to create a Snapchat filter for their event for you to use throughout the night. That is the same concept. It is set to a specific area, and you can only use it if you're within that area, okay? So when you go to set up your document, you need to set it up in pixels, not inches. And it's going to be 1080 by 1920. That's going to give it about a phone size length. The important thing and the important reason, we've talked about this a little bit with pixels versus inches, is all of our phone screens are different sizes. If something's set in pixels, however, it will reformat itself so that it looks right on your phone and your device. That's why we're choosing pixels, not inches. Please make sure that you have it in pixels, because if you have it at 1920 inches, your document is huge, okay? So make sure that you change that. An RGB color scheme, transparent background. As you submit this, you're going to choose three designs. They can all relate to the same event, or you can choose three different events or locations. It's up to you. You will also need to submit a private comment with a paragraph that explains these three questions. Other things that I want you to consider is you need to have it in 72 pixels per inch. This is because it is a digital item, so that is Snapchat's guidelines, okay? It needs to be for neighborhood, city, university, landmark, location, concert event, wedding, birthday, whatever you would like to do. Get creative, and remember the image will need to go over the top of a photo, so make sure that your image is visible on either, or your text is visible on either a light or dark photo. And I'm going to talk about what I want that to look like or some tips on checking that in a second. Okay, this is 170 points. All right, and it talks about what I'm looking for right here in the rubric. Three designs need to be unique, need to look professional, need to be thoughtfully designed. Designs include a combination of images, shapes, and text. No photographs. If you notice, anytime you're on Snapchat, there are no pictures on top of pictures. So everything has to be designed by you. Don't go pull clip art off the internet. But it's no photograph images. These are like clip art type images. Have special features, transparency, rotation. You could go as far as to create a GIF image, whatever you want to do there. Following submission guidelines by Snapchat, and then your private comment will equal 170 points. And if you look down here, I've copied and pasted the rules for Snapchat. Be aware of the space that you are covering, okay? Somebody's image and picture is going to go right here. So you don't want to put something across the middle of your Snapchat filter because that would cover up their face. You want to play to the side and the bottom, or the top and the side, or the top and the bottom. Don't try to cover and fill as much as you want. Simple is better in this case. Some examples of past classes. You know, she went and created one for Houston. She did just kind of, you know, for the time and date. This student for Tokyo. Okay, this is, again, considering where your image is going to go. For a stadium, something along those lines, okay? Again, looking at Disney World and your image. And this is going to be the final piece to your assignment. So when you come out to classroom, you're going to submit your 3 PSD and JPEGs, both. And then you're going to go to this Google Slides and pick your favorite image to inlay an image that you already have on your phone and show us what would that Snapchat filter look like, okay? I'm going to take a second and show you on setting up this document. So I'm going to go File, New. I'm going to name this my last name. Let's just call it Design 1 for the time being. First thing that I want to do is go change this from inches to pixels. And again, it's going to be 1920 by 1080, and it needs to be orientation. So 1080 needs to go first. Resolution 72 pixels per inch, RGB, transparent, create. Okay, so what I would do if it were me is I'd create a new layer. These colors right now are not at their default, so I'm going to hit D to get them back to black and white. I'm going to call this my black layer. I create another one, call it my white layer. Okay, on my black layer with black on top, I'm going to Shift F5, Edit Fill, foreground color, okay. My white layer, I'm going to hit X to switch these two. Shift F5, foreground color, which would be white, okay. So I've got a black layer and a white layer. Turn those off for right now. Here is why. So if I get my text, okay, and I go type GC Buffs, okay, and I pretend it's super pretty and it's the right size and all is well, because you're going to be taking a lot more time on this. And I put it here and I push enter, okay? Well, let's say I'm wearing dark clothes. Wow, that shows up really well. It looks awesome. Okay, but let's say I'm wearing light colored clothes. Well, shoot, that's not going to show up very well. So maybe with my GC Buffs, I like the white font, but maybe I go out to my effects and I use a stroke and I add a dark colored stroke with a high opacity so that it'll show up on a black layer and it'll show up on my white layer. Okay, so I want you to be aware of how your fonts are going to look on different colored backgrounds and how your images or your creations are going to look. So I would encourage the first thing to do once you create your 1920 by 1080 pixel image, go create 2 layers, call it black layer and white layer, so that you can check it against a dark background, or like if the person's wearing dark colored clothes or light colored clothes. Okay, so you're going to have 3 designs. They do not have to relate. They can be 3 completely different things for 3 completely different events. Just remember, I need you to make sure that you are, when you submit all 3, and then you also give me a private comment saying where each filter would be used, date if necessary, which design you believe is the strongest and why, and what special features did you use for this project.